All right, here I am, Jack Van Breen from Guitar Showcase in San Jose, California, again for Totally Guitars, continuing the string changing technique series that we've had. We've showed you the Gibson technique, the Martin technique, the Fender slot head technique. We're going to talk a little bit about floating tremolos. This is a 2008, 9 Custom Shop. I don't remember exactly because I was so happy to get it. This is my personal instrument. It's actually my #1 guitar. And ordered to my specification. This was a rare exception to my rule of I pick them up and play them, and if I like them, I buy them. This one I said, I think I would like it if it was a 9.5-inch radius neck, wand, which is your semi-translucent, so you can see the nice grain in the wood, tortoiseshell pickguard. This was to replace my beauty that was stolen in '75. So it took me a while to replace it. Anyway, we're going to talk about floating trem. And when I say floating trem, not only does it go negative, but it also goes positive. Now this one is not as high off the body as I normally have, so we're going to do a little bit of adjustment on that. One of the challenges people have with instruments with floating trems, and Strats in particular, is you can take the tension on the low E affects the tension on the high E. I don't know if you can quite hear this. And okay, I'm being very over the top on that, but the whole point is people would tune their Strats. They get out their tuner and they tune the E and then the A and then the D and then the G and the B and the E, and they go, I'm done. Well, maybe. But by the time you've gone all the way across, changing the tensions on these 5 strings has changed the tension on the low string, or vice versa, depending whatever direction. And if you're starting with brand new strings and you've taken them all off because you want to polish the guitar up pretty, no, you've got a lot of work left to do. Even without taking the strings off, you've got a lot of work left to do. So let's go ahead and go through this. I've got the Spurzl locking tuners. And the Spurzl tuners are really cool because they have a really high ratio, which means you can crank this a lot and get a little, or crank this a little and get a lot of tuning change. But it also means that you have a real nice positive lock. The way this works, if you can see this here, is we have this bolt or screw or thumb screw that you loosen, and the piston in the shaft of the tuner loosens on a string and it pops right out. And that's very useful if you need to do a quick string change, which on occasion I do if I forget my 5-hour rule of 5 hours trying to change strings. And of course this one wants to be ornery. I'm using my preferred string vendor, D'Addario strings, for this. I happen to run gauges of 10 through 52 because it gives me a little fatter tone on the bottom, so my rhythm is much fuller and chunkier. And do you really need to have your low E string looser than your high E string for bending? I think not. Not the bending string range. So, on a Strat, I want to pull it to make sure it's seated in the socket in the tailpiece. And with the Spurzl tuners, you want to have it set so you're going straight in the string direction. Pull it fairly tight, and then twist the thumb screw till it grabs. And then just crank it. I'm doing my famous thumb twist. And that's it. We get a half turn out of here and we're at pitch. And because the ratio is so high, we can get a lot of control over the tuning, the variance there, without a lot of movement. And it works really, really well. I've never had any string slippage problems with the Spurgles. So I like them a lot. Yeah, they're not vintage. I guarantee they don't sound like the slot head tuners, but they're good enough. So I'm just loosening that up, popping the string out, pulling it through, making sure I have the right string. They do have the color coding. This one is an A, is red. I'm still on the fence on this idea. They've been doing it for a while, and if you have a single set like this, it works really well. If you've got multiple gauges in your repertoire, I try to run all my electrics 10 through 52, but my Gretsch, my Blue Beauty, is a shorter scale, and even with the 10 through 52s, it's pretty floppy. So I'm running 12 through 60. D'Addario calls it their drop C set, but I run it at normal tuning, and it works real well. Quite happy with it. So again, pull most of the slack out, tighten up, get a good pinch in there, crank it up. Cut off the excess. So you can see with this combination of tuners, I can really get through here in a hurry, theoretically. So with the new camera angle, you can see, hopefully, the string coming through. And again, I've got the hole lined up with the direction of the string. I get it fairly tight. I'm reaching under here. And now that we've got the new camera angle, I'm going to rotate the guitar so you can see what I'm tightening is these thumb screws here. And they're driving the shaft into the string. Just that quick.
Did you order these special, or does this guitar come with them?
Well, that's the nice thing about the Fender Custom Shop. They'll do anything you want. And sometimes there's a minor cost difference. Sometimes it's just like whatever, like in pickup selection. The noiseless pickups are a little bit more expensive. But they have 5 or 6 different variants of windings, depending if you want a 50s or a 60s or a 70s sound, or if you want a hot rodded sound. And they're all pretty much the same price. So you can get just exactly what you're looking for. And I happen to trust their craftsmanship after playing about 100 of their custom shop instruments, that I knew whatever I ordered, I would get. And this guitar is just it's wonderful. So I'm loosening the nut under here, and the string is a little bit caught up. So but from a guitar tech perspective, these tuners are wonderful because they're really easy. You don't have to do a lot of convoluted twisting.